Billions of dollars poured into concrete giants designed to touch the sky, dominate skylines, and become symbols of progress. Yet today, many of these towers sit empty, decaying, and abandoned. Monuments not of ambition fulfilled, but of ambition gone horribly wrong. These are the world's ghost scrapers, billion-dollar skyscrapers that nobody lives in, nobody works in, and in some cases nobody will ever step foot inside. But why? How can the most expensive buildings in human history, some taller than the Eiffel Tower itself, collapse not from earthquakes or bombs, but from bad math, greed, and political failure? By the end of this video, you'll know the shocking truth about why so many of the world's tallest skyscrapers are nothing more than billion-dollar skeletons. Globally, abandoned skyscrapers represent over $200 billion in wasted investment, more than the GDP of entire nations. And the problem is getting worse. On average, a skyscraper that fails takes 14 years to fully collapse into uselessness. 14 years of planning, design, and construction, ending in nothing but an empty shell. From Brazil to North Korea, New York to Dubai, these towers all tell the same story. Ego, money, and optimism gone too far. But each failure is unique, and each has a chilling story of its own. Let's begin. In Rio de Janeiro, a city known for its beauty and chaos, one skyscraper looms like a scar, the Torre Abraham Lincoln. Built during Brazil's military dictatorship, it was meant to be a beacon of modern urban life. Families were supposed to enjoy panoramic apartments with sweeping views of the city. But, as construction neared completion in the 1970s, structural cracks began to appear. Foundations shifted, rains eroded supports, and suddenly, the dream collapsed into financial ruin. Developers ran out of money. The dictatorship was already struggling with inflation. The tower was abandoned, left for nature to reclaim. Today, vines crawl up its sides, birds nest in its broken hallways, and squatters move in and out. But while Rio's ghost scraper was undone by cracks in the concrete, another tower would be destroyed by cracks in public confidence. In Mexico City stands the Insignia Tower, an ambitious 1960s skyscraper designed to symbolize progress. At 127 meters tall, it was meant to be the heart of a futuristic housing complex. But then came 1985, and the earthquake that devastated Mexico City. Though the tower itself survived, the tragedy cast a long shadow. The housing complex it belonged to collapsed, killing thousands. Even though the Insignia Tower was structurally sound, no one wanted to live or work inside it anymore. It was abandoned for decades, a safe building cursed by memory. Only years later was it resurrected into government offices, but its story remains a haunting reminder of how disasters can scar cities long after the rubble is cleared. And if Mexico's skyscraper was doomed by public fear, America's most infamous ghost scraper was destroyed by something far more toxic. Rising above New Orleans, the Plaza Tower was once a proud monument of the oil boom. Offices, law firms, and businesses thrived inside its glass walls. But by the 1990s, secrets hidden in the walls came to light: asbestos and black mold. The skyscraper became a health hazard, driving out tenants one by one. Then came Hurricane Katrina in 2005, which poured water into its hollow frame. Repair costs soared to impossible levels, and demolishing it would cost $25 million, a price no one wanted to pay. Today, Plaza Tower is an empty, rotting husk. So notorious locals call it the Mold Tower. But while Plaza Tower decayed slowly, another skyscraper halfway across the world became infamous almost overnight. In Bangkok, the Sathorn Unique Tower was supposed to be one of Asia's most luxurious high-rises, 49 floors of apartments, shopping centers, and honestly, just breathtaking views. By 1997, it was 97% complete. The concrete was poured, the balconies finished, but then the Asian financial crisis hit. Thailand's currency collapsed, the developer went bankrupt, and construction just stopped forever. For decades, the skyscraper has stood abandoned. Urban explorers sneak inside, thrill seekers climb to the top, and locals whisper it's cursed. Built too close to a temple and cemetery, cursed by bad feng shui. But curses weren't the only problem. Developers still owed $140 million in debt, and endless legal battles locked the tower in limbo. While Bangkok's tower became a playground for ghost stories, Venezuela's ghost scraper became something far stranger: a city within the sky. In Caracas, Venezuela, a skyscraper began rising in the 1990s, meant to be a shining financial hub. But when its banker developer died and the economy collapsed, the project stalled halfway. For years, it just sat abandoned. Until one day, thousands of families moved in. By 2011, the unfinished tower had become home to over 3,000 squatters. They built makeshift apartments, barbershops, and stores inside. With no elevators, residents carried supplies up dozens of floors on foot. It became known as the Tower of David, a vertical slum, but also a lifeline for families with nowhere else to go. Later, the government cleared it out, leaving it hollow once again. But its story remains one of the most bizarre in skyscraper history. A failed bank tower turned into a city in the sky. In Manhattan's financial district, developers promised one seaport, a luxurious glass tower with penthouses selling for over $20 million. But there was a problem. It was being built on soft soil near the river. Engineers warned the foundation was unstable. Developers ignored the warnings to save money. In 2018, the unthinkable happened. The tower began to sink. The foundation shifted by 7 inches, cracks spread, and construction froze. Lawsuits flew. Buyers who had already paid millions lost everything. Repairing the foundation would cost $200 million, more than the developers had. Today, one seaport is a half-built skeleton, rotting in New York's skyline, a monument to greed and bad math. Downtown Los Angeles was supposed to get its crown jewel ocean-wide plaza, a billion-dollar mega project of luxury condos, hotels, and retail space. But in 2019, construction suddenly stopped. The developer, a Chinese giant, was drowning in debt. The half-finished towers now stand abandoned, covered in graffiti, a neon jungle in the heart of LA. It's a billion-dollar failure that proves even in the glitziest cities, skyscrapers can become urban graveyards. Pyongyang, North Korea. The Ryugyong Hotel is the tallest abandoned building on Earth, 330 meters, 105 floors. It was meant to be a showpiece of power, a luxury hotel with revolving restaurants. But in the 1990s, the Soviet Union collapsed, North Korea lost its funding, and construction stopped. For decades, it stood as a hollow concrete pyramid, the Hotel of Doom. In 2008, an Egyptian company added reflective glass, making it look finished from the outside. But inside? No elevators, no plumbing, no rooms, just emptiness. It's still empty today, a towering illusion of grandeur hiding nothing inside. In Tianjin, China, rises the tallest unfinished skyscraper on Earth, the 597-meter Golden Finance 117, nicknamed the Walking Stick. Construction began during China's boom, but by the time it was nearly complete, the real estate market collapsed. Demand for offices vanished, and the developer ran out of cash after spending $8 billion. Then, in 2022, China banned buildings taller than 500 meters unless absolutely necessary, sealing its fate forever. Now it stands as the ultimate ghost scraper, the tallest symbol of wasted ambition in history. Dubai is famous for its super tall towers, but it's also home to some of the most infamous abandoned projects. The Eiffel Tower was supposed to be the tallest skyscraper ever built, over a kilometer high. But after the 2008 financial crash, funding evaporated. The site today is just a giant hole in the ground. Even completed towers in Dubai stand mostly empty, with entire districts of skyscrapers abandoned or half-filled. The city's obsession with height left behind a graveyard of glass and steel. Few failures compare to China's Evergrande crisis. The company built thousands of towers across the country, many of them massive skyscrapers, only to run out of money. Entire neighborhoods of high-rises stand empty, ghost cities filled with glass towers, but no people. In some cases, towers were left unfinished, without windows or electricity. Families who invested their life savings in apartments are still waiting, trapped in a nightmare of concrete shells. In 2022, India demolished 2 nearly finished skyscrapers in Noida after a massive corruption scandal. Developers had illegally built them taller than regulations allowed. Courts ordered the towers destroyed, making them the tallest buildings ever intentionally demolished. It was a rare case where ghost scrapers weren't left to rot. They were blown to dust. From Brazil to Dubai, Venezuela to North Korea, these skyscrapers share one thing in common. They were built not for people, but for ego, speculation, and power. When money runs dry, when politics shift, or when arrogance outruns engineering, skyscrapers collapse long before the concrete does. These billion-dollar ghosts stand as warnings. Taller doesn't always mean better, and progress built on shaky foundations is doomed to fail. The question is, what should we do with them now? Demolish them? Repurpose them? Or leave them as monuments to human ambition gone wrong? Tell us in the comments, if you owned one of these ghost scrapers, what would you turn it into?